Hey wrestling fans, how's it going? So I wanted to talk about this week in the WWE Network. They're having Warrior Week, and I gotta say, the third part last night was probably the best part of the whole Warrior Week tribute. First, I wasn't gonna make a video about this. I was just gonna write about my thoughts on Facebook or Twitter, but there's so much that I gotta say about this that I needed to make a video to express myself. So if you saw it last night, you saw basically the behind the scenes of Warrior heading to the Hall of Fame, and the cameras were basically with him the whole entire time. So you saw him backstage, first talking to Sergeant Slaughter, and they haven't seen each other in ages. So it was nice to see them, communicating with each other because those of you who do know, Slaughter's the guy that took the title from the Warrior at the Royal Rumble. So it was nice to see their interaction, and then you just see Warrior heading to Stamford, Connecticut, going to the WWE headquarters and meeting up with Triple H. And I've said a lot of horrible things about Triple H, throughout the years. I've hated this man's guts when he was an active wrestler full time, and I still hate the things that he did backstage. But I will give him credit. When he's gotten this new role at the WWE headquarters, he's done a lot of magic. First, bringing Bruno Sammartino back to the WWE. That was Triple H's baby. That was his project. He, for years, were trying to communicate with Bruno, and he finally got through Bruno. And then with the Warrior, it took him about 2 or 3 years communicating with the Warrior, getting to know him, burying whatever, beef they had in the past, because if anybody that saw the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD, Triple H was a part of it, and Triple H was bashing Warrior too. So to get on Warrior's good side and to mend offenses, Triple H brought Warrior back to the WWE, and I gotta commend him for that. I mean, he's done wonders in the front office and doing talent relations and all that other stuff he's been doing. He's been doing a great job. So I can't knock Triple H for that. So back to the Warrior. You see him, heading back to Stamford, Connecticut after all those years, and then you see him talking about things and just everything that's leading up to the Hall of Fame, and it's part of the DVD that's out right now, the 3-disc DVD of the Ultimate Warrior. So showing tidbits of that was really cool, and then the face-to-face that hasn't happened in so many years. Warrior's backstage at the Hall of Fame. They're doing a dress rehearsal. Vince McMahon is on stage, and they tell Warrior that Vince is out there to go out there. And then sure enough, he goes out there. Vince and Warrior look at each other, and they embrace after who knows how many years. They're face-to-face with each other, and it was an emotional reunion. And for people that follow Warrior's career and seen all the ups and downs he's gone through with the WWE and Vince, Warrior sued WWE and Vince over that Self-Destruction of the Warrior DVD. There's been lots of battles. He talked about the infamous SummerSlam match where he held up Vince for $500,000. He didn't get too much into it, but Vince talked about it, and it was just all that issues, that tension, and to see them finally embrace each other and hug and really let bygones be bygones. I mean, Vince said yesterday, it was like Warrior was shedding off all the wall that he built up, and it looked like it. I mean, you can tell throughout the Hall of Fame ceremony, WrestleMania, and Raw that he appeared on. He looked so damn happy. The smile could not be taken out of his face. He was just happy. You've seen that he just let go a lot of animosity and a lot of bullshit that bothered him for so many years. And it was so good to see that reunion. And then Vince talking about Warrior after he died, and you can see Vince's eyes are so red, and he's tearing up. I mean, I've said a lot of bad things about Vince as well over the years, but I said also a lot of good things about Vince. I mean, you got to give the guy credit. He's done a hell of a job with the WWE. And the thing with Vince is there's Vince McMahon, the human being, there's Vince McMahon, the businessman. I've always heard 2 different stories about 2 different guys. But with Vince, what I notice about Vince is he is loyal to fault to all those guys that helped him build the WWE, that made the WWE a lot of money. He has been loyal to them. And Warrior, Vince, and Linda, for that matter, they had a really tight relationship. And he talked about staying over at the McMahon's house lots of times talking about when Shane was a little kid and Shane used to always tackle him and when he used to go over there. All these like personal stories. So Warrior and the McMahons had a tight relationship, and all that had, falter after all the issues they had. But to see Vince get so emotional, and it was just so good to see that as a wrestling fan, as a Warrior fan, as an early WWF fan. To see all that take place was just so magical. I mean, it was the best part of the whole Warrior Week tribute, and I could not help but get emotional watching that. It was just amazing to watch. And to hear his little daughters talk about him during the Hall of Fame speech backstage. And then they had his, backstage stuff on Raw. His meeting with Hulk Hogan. And after all those years, we all know the YouTube battle that Warrior and Hogan had. Warrior went on these rants on Hogan on YouTube, on his channel, just saying all the shit about Hogan. And then they met backstage, and Hogan basically apologized for his part of his wrongdoing, basically, that he felt that he did. And Warrior, you can tell, was at first apprehensive, but he forgave Hogan, and he buried that hatchet. And it was nice to see all that take place. Warrior got exactly what he wanted. He made a lot of mistakes, no doubt about it, but he also had a lot of bad shit done to him. He was able to put all that to pass, bury the hatchet, get all that off his chest, and he looked like a happy man. It's exactly what he needed before he left this world. And it's almost like cathartic. It's almost like the timing was just right in the sense that he got all this off his chest. He got what he needed from the wrestling world. That was such a big part of his life that made him so much money, made him popular, made him immortal. He got through all that hatchet before he passed away. It was just almost like it was meant to be. That cliche, when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And it was Warrior's time to go that fateful Tuesday. And it was just amazing to watch. I mean, very well produced WWE. Amazing that we're going to always have that footage there in the library to see Warrior's last few days on this world. And it was just incredible. It was sad. It was emotional. And I just wanted to talk about that because it meant a lot to me to see that. And I know it meant a lot to a lot of wrestling fans out there to watch that. So WWE Network is phenomenal. I mean, if you don't have it, I would suggest you get it because it is a wrestler's dream, wrestling fans' dream come true. And that's all I got to say for now. Rest in peace, Warrior. And please discuss and talk about what you thought about the Warrior Week tribute. Talk to you guys later.